Let your body settle now. Just let the weight of you sink down. Your back, your shoulders, they can let go. You've been carrying them up around your ears all day and you don't need to anymore. Let them drop, lower than that. Your hands, just notice where they are, the warmth of them, the small heaviness of them resting wherever they are resting. Your jaw, soften it. Your face doesn't need to do anything tonight. Your feet, the warmth around them, just that. Breathe in slowly and out. Let the breath find its own way, in through the nose and out, soft. You don't need to control it. And again, in and out. There is nothing to figure out right now, nothing to plan, nothing you forgot that matters tonight. You don't need to think about that now. Let it go, all of it. It will still be there in the morning if it needs to be. And as you breathe, the room around you begins to soften, very slowly. The sounds you know grow quieter and quieter, and something else begins to arrive, something warm, something old. You are somewhere along the coast of the Aegean Sea. Greece, classical period, somewhere around 400 BCE. The sun has just touched the water at the edge of the world, and the sky, which was white with heat all afternoon, has turned the color of warm copper and then, slowly, the color of deep blue water. The air is still warm, but the worst of the day is over. You are already half here. The sea is just below you. You can hear it before you see it, that slow, soft sound of small waves moving against smooth rocks. A rhythm that has no hurry in it at all. You walk down toward it along a path worn smooth by many bare feet before yours. The stones underfoot are pale limestone, still warm from the afternoon sun, but cooling now. The day releasing its heat slowly back into the air. The smell of the sea reaches you. Salt and something deeper underneath. The smell of the open water, wide and clean and old. And underneath even that, the smell of seaweed drying on the rocks lower down. Green and mineral and slightly sweet. You stop at the water's edge. The Aegean is very still this evening. Not flat, there is always a little movement, but gentle. The waves arrive in sets of 3 and then pause, as if the sea is thinking, and then 3 more. The water in the shallows is so clear you can see every stone on the bottom, wavering slightly in the last of the light. Deep blue further out. The color of the sky itself, held in the water. Far out, something surfaces. A dolphin. Just the dark curve of a back, rising and falling, and then gone. And then there, another one, further along. 2 of them moving west, unhurried, toward wherever they are going. A gull cries somewhere above the cliffs. One call, long and low, and then silence. The sun is nearly gone. The last of it catches the surface of the water, a long, bright path of copper light stretching toward you from the horizon. You stand in it, the warmth of it on your face, the warm stones under your feet, the cool, salt air moving past you lightly on its way somewhere else. You turn away from the sea and walk inland. The path climbs a little, through dry grass the color of straw, and then you are under the olive trees. The grove is old. These trees were here before anyone now living can remember. Their trunks are twisted and thick, the bark gray and deeply grooved, like something that has been wringing itself slowly for centuries. And yet the leaves are light, silver green, catching what little evening breeze there is, each one turning slightly and then turning back. The sound in an olive grove is like nothing else. A dry, whispered rustling, not the sound of rain, not the sound of wind exactly, but something more like a long, unhurried exhalation. The leaves and the light moving together. You could listen to it for a long time. The cicadas are still singing. They have been singing since morning. By now, the sound has become part of the air itself, a rising and falling that you almost stop hearing, except that it's there underneath everything, warm and dry and continuous, like the sound of the afternoon itself. The earth here is dry and pale. Very little grows beneath the olive trees, just dry grass, a few small stones, the root systems of the trees themselves pushing up here and there through the surface. The smell of the earth in this dry heat is particular, something between stone and something alive, old and warm. An old goat watches you from the shade of a large tree. Amber eyes, completely unbothered. It chews something slowly and looks at you with the expression of an animal that has seen many things and found them all equally unremarkable. The light through the leaves is golden now, late enough that every leaf casts a small, long shadow. The whole grove in that last warm light, silver and gold, dry grass, pale earth, the old gray trunks, still and warm. The cicadas easing off just slightly as the air begins to cool. The village is just ahead. Small white houses clustered on the slope above the shore. Their walls are white lime plastered, reflecting the last of the evening light, and their roofs are terracotta tile, the color of dried clay, warm orange in this light. The village is not large, perhaps 30 households. Everyone knows each other here. You walk along a narrow lane between the houses. The walls on either side still hold the warmth of the day. If you put your hand out, you can feel it radiating gently from the plaster, that stored warmth, like the walls themselves have been saving it to give back in the evening. You don't need to do that. You just know it's there. The smell of the village at this hour is the smell of cooking. Barley bread baking, a deep, nutty, wheaten smell that fills the narrow lane completely. And underneath that, the smell of olive oil heating in a clay pot. And garlic, a strong, bright note moving through everything else. And somewhere, figs, the deep sweetness of ripe figs in the warm air. A dog is sleeping in a doorway, half in the lane, half across the threshold. It opens one eye as you pass, decides you are not interesting, closes it again. From somewhere in the lane ahead, laughter. Low and easy, the sound of people who are tired in a good way after a long day's work. Then quiet. Then the soft sound of someone pouring water. An old woman sits on a low wooden stool outside her door, spinning wool. Her hands move without her needing to look at them. The wool pulls out long and fine and then winds onto the spindle. She looks up as you pass, nods once, goes back to her work. You step through a low doorway into a simple home. The house opens onto a small inner courtyard, open to the sky. This is where the family spends most of its time, not inside, where it is dark and close, but here, in the open air, in the shade of the walls. A fig tree grows in one corner, trained up along the wall, its broad leaves casting a deep shadow on the pale ground. The courtyard is quiet now. The day's work is nearly done. A clay amphora leans against one wall, tall, two-handled, sealed with a wooden stopper. Beside it, a smaller vessel for water. In the corner, a low stone bench, worn smooth. Everything simple, everything used. The air in the courtyard is cooler than the lane outside. The high walls catch the last of the breeze off the sea. You can feel it, that faint, cool movement across your skin, lifting slightly, and then settling again. Above, the sky has gone from copper to a deep, clear blue, not quite dark. The first star has appeared, just one, very bright in the east. You see it between the edge of the roof and the fig tree's topmost branch. Just sitting there, very still, very far away. A clay lamp rests on the low stone bench, not yet lit. Small, round, shallow, made from the same pale terracotta as everything else here. A twist of linen wick. Later, someone will fill it with olive oil and touch a flame to it. But not yet. There is still enough light. The evening meal is simple. You sit on the low stone bench in the courtyard. Before you, set out on a flat piece of wood that serves as a table. Barley bread, round and dense, slightly rough at the edges from the clay oven. Still warm. You tear a piece and it comes apart softly, the inside pale and slightly chewy, the crust a deep brown. There is olive oil in a small clay dish. You dip the bread. The oil is green gold and has a faint bitterness, the way good olive oil always has, like the olive itself, the earth, the tree. A warmth at the back of the throat. You eat slowly. There is no reason to hurry. A cup of wine. Diluted with water, the way it is always drunk here, 3 parts water, 1 part wine, poured from the tall mixing bowl. The wine is dark and slightly rough, not sweet, with the smell of dried grapes and something almost earthy. You lift the cup. Feel the clay against your palms. You drink slowly. There are figs. Dark purple on the outside, split open so you can see the pink red sweetness inside. Soft and very sweet, the sweetness of something that has been in the sun all summer. And a piece of hard white cheese made from goat's milk, crumbling slightly at the edges. Sharp and salty and good. It is a small meal. You don't need to think about it. There is enough. The fig tree is full. The oil jars are sealed. The fishing boats came in this afternoon. Just enough. Just this quiet table, this warm evening, this good bread. You set the cup down. Your hands rest. The evening air moves through the courtyard. The fig tree is still. Someone lights the lamp. A small flame, just a teardrop of orange light. The olive oil catches slowly, and the wick settles into its work, and then the flame is steady. Very steady. The air in the courtyard is still enough for that barely any flicker at all. Just a warm, unwavering glow. The lamp throws a circle of light on the stone bench, and the pale ground around it. Everything beyond the circle softens into shadow. The fig tree is just a dark shape now, its broad leaves catching a faint orange glow on their undersides. The white walls of the courtyard hold the light and give it back, warm and pale. The smell of the burning olive oil is faint and warm, not sharp, just warmth itself with a slight green note underneath, like the oil remembers the tree. You watch the flame for a moment. It breathes in a way that is very slow and very small. In and out, just enough movement to stay alive. The village has grown quiet. The laughter from earlier has settled into silence. Somewhere across the rooftops, the sound of a door closing softly. And from further down, near the shore, the faint sound of water moving against the hull of a boat at rest. And underneath all of it, nothing. Just the warm night settling in. You don't need to do anything with this. Let it just be this. Warm lamplight on pale stone. The smell of olive oil and dry earth and the sea coming in over the walls. The fig tree holding the dark in its branches. The single star, brighter now. You walk back down to the shore. Just to look. The path is dark now, but the stones are pale enough that you can find your way. The warmth is still in them underfoot, even now. The air has cooled. Not cold, never cold in summer on this coast, but the edge of the day's heat is gone, and what's left is something very gentle and very still. The fishing boats are drawn up on the beach for the night. Small wooden boats, broad and low, their hulls dark. The nets are laid out on the rocks nearby, spread to dry. The smell of the nets is strong here, salt and the sea and something organic and alive, the smell of everything the water holds. The moon is rising now. Full, or nearly so. It clears the headland to the east, and its light falls directly on the water. The Aegean at night in moonlight is a thing that is very hard to look away from. The water seems to hold the light inside it, not just reflecting it from the surface, but lit somehow from within, a deep silver blue that moves and shifts and settles. The Pleiades are overhead. 7 sisters, just visible, climbing the sky. The fishermen know them. When the Pleiades rise in the east before dawn, sailing season has begun. When they set in the west at dusk, the seas grow rough and the boats stay in. They have been telling the time this way for as long as anyone can remember. Orion is rising now, following the Pleiades up from the east. His belt, 3 bright stars in a line. He is the hunter. He is patient. He is always following, and the Pleiades are always just ahead, and this is how the sky turns, night after night, whether anyone is watching or not. The water is very quiet. Small waves, still arriving in sets of 3. The same ones from this afternoon, just softer now. the moonlight on the surface breaking into small bright pieces and then joining back together. You go back inside. The sleeping room is small. A wooden bed frame, low to the floor, just 4 posts and a base of woven cord that gives slightly when you sit on it, finding the shape of you. Linen laid over it, folded back at one corner, waiting. Linen is the finest thing in this room, cool to the touch, light, almost like wearing nothing. You lie down. The linen settles over you, cool at first and then warming. It is light enough that you barely feel it, and yet it is there, a soft and present warmth. The smell of it is clean, the smell of fabric that has been dried in the sun and the sea air, something that cannot be made any other way. The woven cord base holds you just above the cool earth floor. It finds the shape of your back. Your shoulders go down. Your hands rest. Everything settles. The walls of this room are thick mud brick, plastered smooth. They keep the heat out in the day and give it back at night, slowly, gently, like a body remembering warmth. The room is not cold. It is exactly the temperature that sleep asks for. Through the small high window, the sky. Dark now, fully dark. A square of deep blue-black with 3 of Orion's stars visible at one corner, moving very slowly, the way stars always are if you watch them long enough. You let your eyes grow soft. The stars blur slightly, the whole sky becoming just light and dark and width. From the courtyard, the lamp is still burning. You can see just the faint, warm edge of its glow on the wall outside the doorway. Orange, barely moving. Just the night now. The sea, very far below. The linen, cool and soft. Your breath going in. And out. The lamp in the courtyard, still. The Pleiades rising. The olive trees somewhere in the dark, their leaves not moving now. Just warmth now, just linen, just the night. The walls are thick, the sea is close, the stars are overhead. You are already between here, and wherever the night takes you. Let it take you there. Everything is already all right.